Welcome to Agios Antonios, a small village on the outskirts of Thessaloniki, Greece. We are here today at the Women's Agricultural Cooperative of Agios Antonios. Here with us is Maria Koukourou, who is a member of the board of the Women's Cooperative, to talk to us about this very interesting enterprise. Hi, Maria.
Hello, Ellen.
It's nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
So tell us about the Women's Cooperative, a little bit about the history, how it began.
It was established in 1999 by the priest's wife, who organized all the women in the village to make those wonderful and delicious things they make. Nobody thought that people would buy their stuff because only their families knew about them. And they were everyday work for them. And they didn't appreciate it that much.
Their families, the people of the society,
The society,
Really?
the local society. And then when they started, and we became known to everybody all around Greece and other parts of the world. People would come and say the things you make remind us of our grandmothers, our mothers, our aunts, and it was very, very nice. They were very touched, and so they continued doing what they did.
So are these traditional Greek products, like village products? Is there something unique about them?
They are traditional handmade products. They are made like the Pontians made them thousands of years ago in Asia Minor, where Pontus was. And nothing has changed since then, just a little bit of machinery, but it's almost the same.
What's special about the products from this region?
They were based on their lives there. They didn't have many plants. They only had animals like cows or sheep or goats and wheat. And they made their products based on what they had.
So featuring a lot of dairy, featuring a lot of wheat, a lot of flour.
Yeah.
So can you give us an example of some of these products?
There is the Perek phyllo for the Perek pie, which is made behind me this just now. This is our first product and the best of our products.
The most well-known for sure.
Yeah. Then there are pasta from Pontos, like Siron or Ivristo. They're very nice. They're very easy to make. And then we have some spoon sweets and some marmalades.
Okay. So now the Women's Cooperative, it's an agricultural cooperative.
Yeah.
What does that mean practically?
We are all farmers. I am a beekeeper. Katerina is the other lady here. You can't see her. She's a farmer. Others have goats. The lady inside has chicken. We are all farmers.
So Maria, are women's cooperatives something common in Greece?
They are now common, but in the early 90s they were not. So we were the first cooperative, women's cooperative in the region of Thessaloniki. We made the way for us to follow, for others to follow, sorry. Oh my God.
Okay. So you were telling us that the priest's wife started this and that everyone involved was involved in farming. So this group of people banded together to make these products. Tell me a little bit about those early days. How did it get started?
It was very difficult because the men had problems with the women working. And so the women came here at 2 in the morning.
2 in the morning? trimming.
Yes, yes, of course.
Wow.
They made the Perek pastries and whatever else they made according to the needs of our clients. And then they went home and they wake up their children and their husbands. They send the children to school, and then they went to the farms, and then they get back and prepare lunch.
Wow.
They didn't sleep at all.
Yeah, they were working 24 hours a day, but they were that committed to this project. So the women of the village started because they knew they had a wonderful product. The food of their region was, wonderful and well known around the world. So they wanted to somehow offer to the community and have a little spending money for themselves, right?
Of course.
Okay. But as I know, you also developed a cafe, which is part of the cooperative. How did that come about?
The cafe was made in 2008, in the first year of the economic crisis in Greece. How it started. Many women and men of the village used to work in factories around Thessaloniki, and the factories closed suddenly. They became without work, without any means to feed their children, their families, to pay their bills. It was very difficult. And we decided, the older women decided, that we could absorb the women that went jobless to the cafe, just to make some money to support their families and feed their children. It was very, very important.
So what was the feedback about the cafe? What was the general reaction you got, both from the community and the larger region?
The men always make problems, but we love them, so it's okay.
What was their concern, Maria?
They didn't have any concerns. They just were opposite to the whole idea. They wanted to make it a pizza place, yes, a pizzeria. But we said there are many pizzerias in the whole world. What we need is something unique and special, and based on the products we make.
But there was also, if I remember correctly, some sort of reaction that people wouldn't respond to a cafe featuring products of the poor. Is that right?
It's not about the cafe. It was an early reaction in the early days of the cooperative. They made the products at home at first, and they would eat them almost every day, and they were very common to the people here. And they were called the food of the poor because people here aren't very rich. We are poor and middle class. They didn't believe in the products.
Tell us a little bit about Perek as a food. The way it was prepared traditionally, when it was eaten.
It was prepared after harvesting the wheat. They gathered in every block of the village. The women took the flour made from their wheat, and they would make in large groups the Perek philos. And then they would store them in their houses for all the year. And when someone came to visit, they would make a Perek pie very easily, very quickly, and offer them, so they won't be hungry. This is a thing we have here in Greece. Nobody leaves our houses hungry.
Right.
They must be fed up here.
Okay. So it was a food that people would offer their guests, but also eat as a family.
Yes.
On a daily basis, even, right? Okay. And what would you fill these pies with?
With feta cheese and other cheeses.
Okay.
Now we fill them with ham and mushrooms and peppers, or even sweet. With chocolate or cheese and honey.
Okay. So the cooperative started in the 90s. In 2008, you had the cafe. So you were running essentially, Maria, two businesses with anywhere between 17 to 20 people. This clearly took off. And it was recognized, I think, from leaders of the country as well. Is that right?
Yes. We were rewarded by the president.
Oh.
Yes, it was a great honor.
So, Maria, when did this award from the president happen?
In 2013.
Okay, and what was the reason for it?
For their contribution to the tradition of Greece.
Wonderful. Okay. So you have approximately 20 people working here.
Yes.
It's a cooperative, so it's not really a business in the traditional sense.
No.
But at the same time, the women aren't volunteers either. So how do the people get paid for their work here?
At the end of the year, we gather and we make a decision. It's whether we should split the money or to invest it. Very often we invest the most of the money, but it comes in equal shares.
Okay. So tell me about the investment. What do you invest in? In new machinery? In what exactly?
New machinery, of course, but something that would not harm the traditional way of making the products. Or we make the cafe nicer. Last year we placed windows around the cafe. We took, let me remember, new coffee machine, new toilets. So we invested, yes.
So what sort of challenges do you foresee in the future for the cooperative?
It's that crisis that we go through now, the COVID crisis. But I know in my heart that we will get through it and we will become better because we are here for better or for worse, as you say. And we all understand each other. We all work with each other with great success and understanding. We are like a great family. Yes.
That's lovely. Okay. So Maria, let's say I want to be a member of the cooperative. Can I be?
Right now you can't.
I can't?
No, you can't.
Why?
I'm sorry. We want you, but you can't.
Okay.
Because first of all, you're not a resident of Agios Antonios.
Okay.
And second, you're not a farmer, as I know.
No, I'm not.
No, you're not. Okay.
So you have to be a resident of the village and a farmer. Wow. Okay. So that really limits the pool.
Yes, it does. It does.
Is Agios Antonios predominantly a farming village?
Yes, but we are few people. We are only 600 people here.
Oh.
And you can imagine how many women there are and how many women are farmers.
Right.
Because the men may be farmers, but the women are not.
Homemakers,
yes.
Or they do other jobs as well.
Yes.
So it's a small pool of people who
it's a very small
can
pool.
Contribute. Okay, so that's a challenge for sure.
It is.
Have you ever thought about possibly changing that to allow people from other villages?
Yes, we thought of that, but something is holding us back because it's the name of Agios Antonios, and I don't know if we can change that or we want to change that.
Okay, so present some challenges. Okay, great. So Maria, tell us, where can we find all the wonderful products that you make?
You can find them all over Greece, in specialty grocery stores, delicatessen, and other small shops, not in supermarkets.
Okay. So smaller kind of boutique meat shops,
yes,
delicatessens,
yes,
and boutique
exactly.
groceries. Great,
Mhm.
wonderful. So, Maria,
Mhm.
do you think you can show us a little bit about how all these wonderful products are made?
Of course, follow me.
Okay, great.
Yes, first we make the dough with hard wheat flour, water, and some salt. Then we take the dough here. Litsa is cutting the dough into small pieces. And makes the kundia. It's how we call them, kundia, small balls that she will later open to the filo. The next step and final is that we bake the filos in the fireplace with real wood, as you can see, just the traditional way. And as you can see, the filo at first is flat, yes, thank you. And then it becomes bubbly from the heat of the pan.
So, Maria, this is the final product, the
Yes.
Perek filo.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit, how do we make this at home?
First of all, we wet all the filos at once under
Some water.
under some water. And then we put in the pan oil or butter and 3 filos.
3.
Yes.
Okay.
When they're done, we turn them, putting some oil in the pan as well. And in the baked side, we put the feta or the cheese or whatever we want.
Okay.
And then other 2 wet filos above. And when they are done, we turn them again, the final turn, until it's done from the third side.
So how long does it take, Maria?
About 7 to 10 minutes.
Okay, so it's a quick meal,
Very
a
quick.
hearty meal, and a very delicious and healthy meal.
Yes.
Maria, tell us a little bit about the products you have here.
First of all, the Pontian products. This is a Bristow. It's Pontian pasta, which is made in just a few minutes at home with feta cheese or minced meat or however you want it. And this is Siron. It's made with yogurt and garlic. It's very delicious with raki, tsipouros, or wine. And then the egg noodles. As you can see, they are handmade, hand cut with eggs and milk. And the trachana for a warm soup these days where there's snow all around. And of course, the spoon sweets. This is wild fig.
Fig?
Yes, wild fig.
Oh, okay.
Some of them, we have other spoon sweets as well. This is carrot spoon sweet. And the marmalades, this is apricot. We also have strawberry, plum, carrot, orange. And the koulourakia, as we call them, cookies. Sophia's cookies with almond. And we also have Canella's cookies with cinnamon.
Wonderful. Hi again, everybody. So Maria was nice enough to show us and explain to us how to make a Perek pita. So if you were with us and we went to the actual cafe where they prepare the Perek, you would have the opportunity to sample one and see how delicious they are, and also see how they make them. But since that's not possible and the cafe is currently closed under the current lockdown, I decided to make one myself. So the first step in making a Perek is, well, besides opening the package, is wetting the actual phyllo dough. This is what they look like when they're dried and packaged. Really thin, really crispy. So I'm just gonna run it under my faucet and wet it completely on both sides. Oh, and it breaks, which is okay. It's actually, I've seen them in the cafe actually break it, and it's fine. So it's wet, it's dripping, you can see it, okay? And the idea is to have 3 of them on the bottom and 2 of them on the top. In the middle is when you put your filling. So I'm just gonna wet all 3, and then we'll put in our filling. So next step is we put a lot of olive oil in our pan and let it heat up. Now Maria said you can put in oil or even butter if you want, but here in Greece we're huge proponents of the Mediterranean diet, and a huge proponent of that, of course, is extra virgin olive oil. So here it is, and I've given a nice generous sprinkling of it in our pan, waiting for it to heat up. Okay, so the oil in our pan is nice and hot, I hope. So here we go. I'm going to put the first of the 3 pieces of phyllo dough. All right, so here is our phyllo in the pan. I have put down the 3 layers of it, and it's, maybe you can hear it heating up, but that's what it looks like. 3 layers of the phyllo dough in the pan, and we're waiting for them to develop a nice kind of fried crust. Okay, so the dough is, it feels pretty cooked, at least it looks kind of cooked on the one side. So now is the scary part where I have to flip it over. I've seen them do this at the cafe, so wish me luck. I just kind of have to flip it, and then just kind of slide this side back into the pan. There we go. So this is what my flipped phyllo dough looks like. You can see it's cooked on the other side. Now it's cooking on this side, and we can put in our ingredients. So I'm going to put in some feta cheese. I crumbled up a whole bunch. Now, at the cafe, they put in tons of different ingredients. They can put in mushrooms or ham. They put in yellow cheese, like a Gouda is really popular. Peppers, perhaps. So it's really whatever you like. They also put in sweets as well, like chocolate. So that's an option as well if you're a sweet person. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the top layers. It's okay if it breaks. It's not the kind of pizza where it has to be all in one solid thing. Now, Maria did tell us that you have to put more oil in the pan, so I'm going to do that now. I'm going to take the pie out. This is the scary part again. I have to flip it, but here it goes. So wish me luck. And then I'm going to put it back in the pan with some more oil. So here's what we got so far. Just going to slide it in my pan again. And there it goes, it's frying. So the end product is a nice crispy kind of cheese pie. It's delicious. I'll show you as soon as it's done. Okay, so I think it's ready. I think it's crispy on both sides. So we're gonna take it out of the pan and put it in our tray to take a look. Okay, so here's our finished product. Let's see how we did. Crunchy. Let me get a plate and show you what it looks like. So here it is. Looks pretty good. Cheesy, delicious, crunchy. Kalimos όρεξη.